easier to trust myself through my process, right? Because you know that the decisions you're making are in your best interest, because at this point you know yourself well. I think if I would give any piece of advice to anyone that's confused or is in like their 20s and they're like trying to figure out where they're going and things like that, I think that it's important to focus on your career, your goals, but I really think that it's important to focus on yourself, because like I said before, you will not be comfortable in decisions you're making and your trajectory and where you're going if you don't know, trust, and love yourself. So hey you guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Monet, aka Political BAE, and we are back on our bullshit. But no, so I'm back or whatever, what's going on in the Political BAE brand. And I sort of had like a moment in like my real life where I was like, you know what, like I really love what I do, and I love the folks that I work with, but the convenience of where I was working at the time just was not working out for me, and I needed a change, right? Like I felt it like in my everyday life that like things just weren't playing out the way that it necessarily should have internally, and I really needed a change of scenery and just a change of space, and really define the trajectory and the timeline of certain goals that I had set for myself and what that was gonna look like. So I decided, I would say around the spring, that I was gonna make a year anniversary at my former place of employment and then seek new job opportunities. And that was a very interesting process because I'm only 23 out of undergrad and I am studying to go to law school, but what I was really met with was the sort of like complexities and how difficult it really is to work full-time and study at the same time, and I just I wasn't doing that while I was in that headspace and where I was. So I really needed to like hammer down on that and like put the nail in and really lock in. So I decided to find a new place of employment, and that search went on for about like 2 or 3 months. It was definitely an interesting process, I would say, because when I first got out of undergrad, I was just very fortunate to find a full-time employment in like my field at a level that like unbeknownst to me just was something that was like very much so coveted. I didn't realize how many people out of undergrad weren't necessarily like finding employment and sort of like, I guess, hitting the ground running coming out of school, and what sort of like a toll it took on folks' mental health. So I was very lucky that I didn't necessarily have to go through that, but at the same time, I just know myself and I knew my goals and my aspirations, and I knew that it was just time for a change. I really love the folks that I worked with, and I miss them dearly, but I'm all settled back in. I've been at my new place of employment going on a month now, and I really do enjoy it. Before I was working in the public sector as a case handler for a really big and great not-for-profit law firm. And now I am in corporate America and working at a private firm that does really great work in the sort of cases that they take, and proving to be a very good environment to work in and learn. You have the ability to just shadow different folks and get different skill sets, which I really, really enjoy. So I'm very, very grateful. I have no real complaints when it comes to my professional life. I think I've always been good with sort of maintaining that part of my life. My career is very important to me, especially because I want to go to law school. So it was definitely the best move for me, knowing that I wanted to get into a place that like focused a lot on litigation and see how that process goes and all that fun stuff. So that's like, I guess, a major update for me. So yeah, I think that one thing that as the year is coming to a close, I think we have like a month and 2 weeks left of like 2019, and I think like the biggest thing that I've learned in 2019 is really just to trust yourself. Not only trust yourself, but like really trust your gut and trust your process, right? I think a lot of the times we might be hung up on or looking at what the other person is doing or the people around you, or you're in a constant competition with yourself, right? If you're like me, you're not really looking at other folks, but you're like just trying to check off the boxes, like what is your next goal, like just really trying to push yourself to see how far you can really get and really try to put your best foot forward to achieve your dreams. And I think that what's worked for me well in this process is really like taking the time to do the work to know myself and learn myself, so that it's much easier to trust myself through my process, right? Because you know that the decisions you're making are in your best interest, because at this point you know yourself well. You know, I think if I would give any piece of advice to anyone that's confused or is in like their 20s and they're like trying to figure out where they're going and things like that, I think that it's important to focus on your career, your goals, but I really think that it's important to focus on yourself, because like I said before, you will not be comfortable in decisions you're making and, you know, your trajectory and where you're going if you don't know, trust, and love yourself. So yeah, that's my advice for 2019. But yeah, so that's that update. If you follow me on Instagram at Monet Who Else, I've started to post daily LSAT prep questions, and a lot of the folks that follow me interact with it on a daily basis, and I think that it's like a really great thing and a tool to use to sort of get people's like minds turning, even if they're not planning to go to law school, or even if they didn't think that they might be going to law school. They're, you know, they could be doing these questions and just feel really good about themselves, and that might be opening up another door. So I really like that, because I've definitely been getting really good feedback in my direct messages about that sort of stuff, and everyone seems to love it. So if you're not following me already on Instagram, follow me at Monet Who Else, and just watch my stories, because I will be posting questions there as I have been. What else is an update in my life? Let's see. Yeah, no, I mean, I know when I always do like my ass smoke thing, people are always inquisitive about like my personal life or my dating life and like all that stuff, and I'm just gonna let you guys know now, I will never ever fully go in depth on Beyonce's internet about things like that. I might like do fun questions and answer like little trivial things, but that's not what you're gonna get out of this YouTuber girl. So it's like, yeah, if you know, you know, that's it. But for the most part, I'm just, you know the vibes. What else? Really trying to get that 170 X LSAT score, because your girl is not trying to pay for law school. Law school is very expensive, and there's really no telling if you are going to be able to pay that stuff off, because you don't really actually know where you land. You can like have all these theories and want to be in certain places and all that fun stuff, but that might not necessarily be what is gonna happen, you know, when things do come to court. So I really do want to go to law school for free, so I'm really trying my hardest to like get a really good score in this LSAT, so folks can pay me to be at their institution and not the other way around. So that's that for this lifestyle video. You guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I've been seeing a lot of new subscribers nowadays, and I really enjoy that. So if you're a new subscriber, hi. Make sure you follow me on the other socials to keep up, because sometimes I might go a little bit ghost over here, but I will always be back. I'm always doing something. But yeah.